The Democratic Alliance Congress takes place this weekend, where members will contest several senior leadership positions. These include the federal leader and the chairperson of the federal executive, now the party's top decision-making body between conferences. More than 2,000 delegates are expected to attend. Let's talk about this a little bit more. Let's talk about the Democratic Alliance. Political analyst Professor Andre Duvenhage from the Northwest University joins us now for this conversation. Prof, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it this morning. How big a conference is this in the context of things? I mean, it's their biggest conference ever, but how big is this also in the lifespan of the Democratic Alliance? Good morning.
Good morning, Arabile, and the viewers. Indeed, this is a very important, even a critical conference for the ANC. You have mentioned the number of people. I have get the information there may be as many as 3,000 people, giving it the character and numbers that is associated with an organization like the ANC. But I think what is important is two things. This is an elective conference, and the election is on two levels. It is about administrative personnel, the chairperson of the Federal Commission, the deputy chair, and the federal financial chair. But then it's also about the federal leader, the chairperson, and the deputy chairperson. The three is political decisions. Now, at the moment, there's only about one I am prepared to bet money on, and that is that Gordon Hill-Lewis is going to take the federal leadership of the Democratic Alliance. We must also take into consideration there will be policy decisions, and I think the focus will be very much on the government of national unity and the upcoming 2026 local elections.
Yeah, Prof, I mean, there's so many aspects that you unpack there, but let's start with maybe this. Is this a moment of institutional consolidation, if that's even possible, considering that you have new leadership? Or is this going to have to be a moment where the party needs to rethink itself, realign, reinvent almost, because of the way the electorate is changing in South Africa, especially amidst the GNU?
Let's start at what is going on in the bigger political environment and try to fit the DA within this context. We have seen major political reconfigurations at a number of levels. We've seen a huge drop in the support base of the ANC. Personally, I'm expecting that the number of coalition governments from the 2017 2021 election can double. So coalition and coalition politics are going to be the name of the game. And the ability of parties and leadership to accommodate other groupings are very, very important, maybe even critical. And what I am picking up specifically in Gauteng, but also outside Gauteng, and you can link this to the upcoming ANC election, is a coalition forming to the left of the center, including the radical ANC, the EFF, or maybe even the MK party, and a number of our other parties, maybe in a way recreating the old ANC. Then to the center right, it's going to be also reconfiguration. We have seen the Democratic Alliance experiencing strong competition from parties like the Freedom Front, specifically in Pretoria, among the white constituency, and when it comes to the so-called colored constituency, there's strong competition from the Patriotic Alliance. And this we have seen in a number of by-elections in the Western and Southern Cape. So mentioning all of this, it's a time for positioning and repositioning here for the DA. It's a time that they must strategically analyze the environment and take the process forward. I know they are going to focus on policy. Sure. I know they have a very strong election machine. At the moment, Ipsos is giving them anything between 22 and 25%. I honestly believe if they are performing well, their ceiling will be around 25%, but it's more likely that it may be lower than that. And their
Yeah.
risks is what is coming from the Freedom Front Plus on the one side, and specifically, and most importantly, the Patriotic Alliance.
Prof, I mean, then you ask yourself whether then Jordan Hill-Lewis and Lungile Jonasa, whichever one of those two wins, I know you've put your money on Jordan Hill-Lewis to take this one. Whichever of those two then leads, these are both party members who maybe it may not matter so much, but in political terms, they're both under 40. And that sees a different kind of way of thinking for the Democratic Alliance. But there's also something known as political strength. And they may not necessarily have it in droves because of the years of experience that they've had in this. Do you think that they are the ones capable of leading the Democratic Alliance in the fashion that you've just spoken about?
I think this is the same problem Rassie Erasmus has to deal with, and that is how to bring in new politicians, a new generation of politicians. The same is also applicable to the ANC at this point in time. But back to the Democratic Alliance, what is interesting about the party, although it is a liberal democratic party, it is also, in terms of its structures, in terms of its policies, in terms of its choices about leadership, very conservative. So I am seeing a balance between continuity and change. But I have no doubt that the senior positions will be taken up by a new leadership, a new generation of leaders. But we have seen in the times of Mmusi Maimane, when there were crises within the Democratic Alliance, they resorted back to the likes of Ryan Coetzee and Tony Leon and people like this. So I believe at the background, there will still be the Helen Zillis, the Tony Leons, and maybe others. But they are preparing a new generation to take the party forward. And I have no doubt that there's a lot of talent within the party to take them forward. But it would be a balance between continuity and change, with the emphasis more strongly on change.
So you see them becoming the leading party by 2029?
I don't think. I think it will depend on what will happen with the ANC. At the moment, the indications are clear. The ANC support, according to a number of surveys, is between 30 and 35%. It may go even lower. There are analysts indicating that specifically in the metros, it's going down, and it may reach a low, and we have seen that with freedom movements. But at the same time, there's an attempt to reconfigure it, and that is bringing back all the children coming from the ANC, namely the EFF, maybe even the MK party. And the MK party can be a very interesting one. They don't want to work with the ANC basically because of two things. Position of Ramaphosa, because they believe he stole the ANC election in 2017. And secondly, the implementation of the Zondo Commission and other investigations impacting on politicians like Jacob Zuma, maybe even Paul Mashatile, Julius Malema, and others. So we may see a coalition of the corrupt develop on the left of the center. To me, that is a very, very dangerous scenario for South Africa. Sure. And the DA need to position accordingly.
Wow, very interesting. Let's talk about signals perhaps we should be looking out for in policy resolutions, because as you said, policy will actually be discussed as well at this Federal Congress, or even leadership in some of the policy resolutions or the leadership speeches that perhaps would indicate the DA's strategic direction post this Congress.
I think definitely, without any doubt, and we know that the DA has very, very strong documentation, policy documentation. But what is important is the paradigm that the leadership will put on the policy. And I think the first step for the new leadership will be to create that paradigm. The policy documents is one thing. The way you interpret it, the way you deal with it, the way you make it operational, that is going to be very critical. In that sense, a new leadership needs to establish themselves. Now, if we look at the core paradigm of the Democratic Alliance, it is in essence liberal democratic with a tendency towards social democracy, also accommodating elements of the developmental state. So that is a center, maybe conservative party.
Yeah.
And I believe that their position with regard to the government of national unity is probably going to be the most critical one, as well as strategic legislations coming through the government.
It's going to be a very interesting one. This weekend is that focus, the Democratic Alliance's federal Congress leadership positions, certainly going to be a key part of that conversation. Professor Andre Duvenage, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it. Political analyst from the Northwest University as we speak about the DA.